Rejuvenate, restore, refresh, and heal. At Fantuzo Acupuncture, we seek to help achieve effective health and wellness in an elegant spa-like atmosphere. Fantuzo Acupuncture specializes in traditional acupuncture, cosmetic anti-aging acupuncture, acupressure, cupping, CBD topical creams, and more. Approach healthcare holistically. Visit FantuzoAcupuncture.com to book online today. FantuzoAcupuncture.com.
From attic to basement, we're here for you. It's quality service in all we do. Call Taylor. 500 help.
That's right, Taylor, 500 help if you want to be nice and cool and not sweaty and stinky. Taylor Heating and Plumbing can make that happen for you, just like they did for us here at Revere Realty in our office building, where we do Kimberly's Revolution We the People podcast. It's nice and cool here. It's like 94 outside, but Taylor can get you all set up. If you don't have air conditioning, call them at 500 help. Really easy. 500 help. Jerry at Taylor Heating and Cooling will make sure that you're all set up. If you're having water heater issues, if you're having plumbing issues, Taylor 500 help. They do it all, even duct cleaning if your allergies are killing you. So air conditioning, heating, plumbing, home energy, and of course, a comprehensive financing plan. So check it out. Taylor Heating and Plumbing. Make sure you call them 500 help and they will set you up. Make sure you're nice and cool already in this hot Rochester summer that we're having. And if you want your lawn to look fantastic, you go on up to Webster, see my friends Kimberly and Justin, Precision Lawn and Garden, 195 North Avenue, open weekdays 8 to 5 and Saturday 9 to noon. They'll give you that Mac Daddy of lawnmowers. It's going to make your lawn look fantastic. Precision Lawn and Garden has been providing Rochester, the surrounding areas, professional sales, service, and parts since 1969. You want to cut down a tree? They have big time chainsaws, lawnmowers, new models, on sale models, all still products, Cub Cadet, Ferris, and Toro. Precision Lawn and Garden, 195 North Avenue. And if you want your driveway to look great, see, all these things make your home look great if you decide to sell it with Revere Realty. Brand new sponsor of this show is Express Sealers. Your driveway can look fantastic with a freshly sealed driveway. Express Sealers, not one of those fly-by-night companies, not one of the door knocker sealing companies that say, hey, we have some extra stuff we can throw on your driveway. No, they don't do that. It's professional, hand-applied, commercial-grade seal coat. Express Sealers. Call them today, 645-2010. 645-2010. Express Sealers.
Are you hot?
Woo, so hot.
Live from the We the People broadcast studio in hot and sticky Irondequoit, New York.
Hot.
Here's Kimberly.
Sticky. I don't know which I'd rather be, hot or sticky.
Isn't it hot and stick or is it liquid stick?
I don't know. Happy Monday.
Happy Monday,
all the Patriots. Kimberly's Revolution from the We the People podcast network. Of course, just Tom joining us today.
Kevin Costner lookalike.
Yes. Kimberly's Revolution, of course, brought to you by Rockvox Productions and Fitz and his crew over in Bushnell's Basin. If you have a company or you have a bunch of people just like to get together, you think you have some things to say that are interesting and funny, and no matter what the topic, Fitz at Rockvox Productions can help you set up your own podcast. He has done it for us and he's done a fantastic job and we appreciate them. In fact, Austin is from Rockvox Productions. Austin is our producer.
Hello.
And that's Austin. And he is with us every Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. And he also helps out with other podcasts that you hear on the We the People podcast network, like coming up at 4:00. We have Politically Correcting with Jose Pio. And we love him because he is a city council person for Rochester who actually doesn't mind speaking to the people that elected him to his position. Shocker. Right. I know, right?
Kimberly, before you introduce our guest here,
yes, we have
Austin, can you please show Kimberly your picture?
What picture?
I don't think she's seen it yet.
No, I haven't seen the picture. What's the picture?
This is a picture of Austin.
Okay. I got to see it first.
Hang it right there.
Right there.
Isn't that what you see?
That's funny. That's there he is. That's Austin.
Right
yeah.
There. Yeah.
That's Austin. You're just Tom. I'm Kimberly. And John H.
Heyo.
H.
Heyo.
His reputation precedes him.
How many times did I try to block you, John?
I think
All
Chad,
of them.
I think Chad Hummel, who is on with us, he has his own podcast as well. What's Chad's podcast?
Got Freedom.
Got Freedom.
With Chad Hummel.
And Chad does his podcast whenever
Tuesdays at 4:00.
I was going to say whenever he feels like it. I don't know. I think you and Chad have gotten into some great debate, right? John H?
We've had some conversation. I think it's a budding bromance, to be honest with you.
You know, you guys are kind of the same type A mentality. So
Yeah.
I understand why Chad and you guys, you
Well, I
have
think we
that little
agree
back
on
and
a lot
forth.
of things, not everything.
not everything.
No.
John H., of course, a longtime fitness guy here in the Rochester area, used to own a fitness center downtown for years. That's where you and I met.
The Downtown Fitness Club.
You whipped me into shape. When
Whipped, yes.
I'm always a fat girl trying to get skinny. You know, I own it. I am it. I get it. It's okay. I can say it, but I've always been a fat girl trying to get skinny. And John H., you whipped me into shape big time one year.
Yeah.
I mean, I think I was like the lowest weight that I've been since college.
We did the celebrity boot camp
We
with
did.
the Sophia brothers.
Oh my
Remember
God.
those guys?
Yeah, when Steve Sophia tried to jump on the back of my treadmill and
And-
went flying.
Yeah.
Yeah, that
Flew,
was good
ass over
times.
tea kettle. He landed on his head.
Good time.
That was a good episode.
It was a really good episode. So John H. is now what you're doing. The name of your company is.
I'm at 5-Step Fitness over
Yeah.
in Parrington Square Mall.
What does your shirt say?
It says straight out of quarantine. Straight out of
Straight out of, because
Right.
you so gangsta.
You know,
You
I had these made and
You
by
so
Jaybird.
gangsta.
Yeah. And then I was in Miami in March and I saw the straight out of quarantine. I said, those guys stole my idea.
Yeah. Well, see what happens
I
when you
should have
don't jump on
trademarked
it.
it. Yeah.
You should have 5-step
I'm the OG
fitness.
though.
So what do you go to people's houses to train them? That's what you do?
No, we have them come right to the mall there, and we've got a
What mall?
6,000 Parrington Square Mall.
Oh, the Parrington Square Mall. All right.
It's undergoing renovations. We just got a Chipotle out front.
What?
No kidding.
Yeah, we're big time now.
That's
Big time.
amazing.
Well,
I
you
haven't
know,
been out there in a while.
So
Gotta
what
have
time
your-
do you
the
train?
bowl.
What do you do?
6 a.m., noon, and 6 p.m. every Monday through Friday.
So how many raw eggs do you eat every morning?
I eat no raw eggs.
You
I have a cup of coffee.
You don't have the Rocky
What-
diet?
What do you
No.
always say though? It's more about what is the thing that you always
You
say?
can't outwork a bad diet.
Bingo. That's it.
Yeah,
That's it.
That's why I don't even bother to work out.
You're like,
See,
the diet sucks. I might as well not
You
do
think
anything
he's
else.
drinking a soda there, and it's a big one, but it's mostly booze
No,
in that cup. I'm just gonna tell
today
you.
it is just soda.
Is it?
Yes.
Tell him what you think about soda, John H.
Oh yeah, that's a
Oh,
death
it's
sentence.
the number one bad health habit in America.
See?
There you go.
Yeah,
It's
number
bad.
One. Number one.
It's
What if you mix it with whiskey? Is it still bad?
It's number 1 point, whatever is above 1.
Yeah, and you've got some facial growth going on.
Yeah, I told my wife I was coming on. You know, I was going out on the boat. My son-in-law and my grandson.
Yeah.
We went out on a little canal boat ride, and I told her, I said, "Yeah, Kimberly asked me to come on the podcast." She's like, "Oh, you should have shaved."
Yeah, you should have shaved.
I,
No, you look fine.
I'm,
you look fine.
I'm a good-looking man. Trust me.
So you're
You are
excited that they're
serious.
opening the bridge in Fairport this
Got it.
weekend?
Is
Is
it
that-
opening?
is
They're
that opening?
opening it.
Wow.
I was just thinking that the other day.
Yeah.
That it took an extra year.
Everything
Longer
takes
than they-
longer with COVID.
I guess so.
That's true. 5-step fitness in the Parrington Square Mall, where
5-step
you
fitness.
you can sign up and then come. Kathy says you're not fat. Again, I waver between about 25 to 30 pounds up or down my whole life. It's what it is. I
I've
know.
learned not to argue with a woman's assessment of herself.
That's the
How
only
you-
thing
how
John
you
doesn't
see-
argue with.
Right. That's true.
Yeah. Well, his wife's name is Kim. So,
Yeah.
he-
I've been taught.
yeah, he's been
He's been
taught
taught
well.
to be nice to Kims.
We went out over the week. Did you have a good weekend?
Yes.
Monday. It was
Always have a
Monday.
good weekend.
Yeah. So for Valentine's and for Mother's Day, my husband got me gift certificates to Mirbeau. He got me $100 gift
Nice.
certificate to Mirbeau on Valentine's Day, and he got me one for Mother's Day. So I had $200 to blow at Mirbeau. So we went down to the Mirbeau Spa in Skinny Atlas.
Did you get like a half a set of nails for that $200?
Yeah. And I got a massage
Okay.
with a deep tissue, which was amazing. And then we went over to, and I've never been on a wine tour, and I've never been to any of the wineries in the area. Have you guys been on a wine tour?
I don't
No.
do wine tours.
You don't do a wine
No,
tours?
I
I've
don't
never
drink
been.
wine.
It's a beautiful country though, just to like go and sit out at the lake. We went to this winery called Fantuzo. There we are. We are
Nice.
sitting outside.
Scenic.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
And then I have
Is
the
that
other
Seneca
picture.
Lake back there?
That is
What-
Seneca Lake, and that
yeah.
is
Beautiful.
Ventosa. That's the picture where we
Okay.
were. You walk right in, and you know they seat you out, but you can pick anywhere you want to sit. And we sat there. That was a perfect spot. And we had an entire bottle of wine, and my husband doesn't even drink wine, but I guilted him into it. I'm like, we're in wine country. We're at a winery,
Right.
and you're going to drink beer? I don't think so. So we took that picture,
There you
and
go.
then we had the other picture. So
Very nice.
so we got out and we did some stuff. I know a show that you're going to love. Do you have Apple TV?
I'm sure I do somewhere in the portfolio at
I
the
know.
house. My kids all run that. I've just figured out how to watch Netflix. So
I know.
yes, I'll say yes.
Like the attorney I'm working with now, trying to figure out how to email
Technologically
something.
challenged.
Don't get me started on that.
I can lift the shit out of weights though.
I'm going to mail you. No, you're not going to mail me anything. Trying to deal with people who are older
Yes.
when we're trying to get things done in the real estate world.
Don't look at me when you say that, Kimberly.
Trying to get approvals for deals that we have going through, and this guy wants to mail me. Okay, no. But Apple TV, there's a show called Physical, and it takes place.
I've heard about this.
Yes,
Yes.
it takes
Yep.
place in the early 80s, where this housewife is unhappy with her life.
I read an article about it. Yeah.
She's got to lose her husband, and
I do want to watch this.
she finds aerobics.
So is this hosted by Olivia Newton-John?
You would think,
sort
right?
of set in that
It's-
time frame,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
Right.
it is, because when
Yeah.
did Physical come out? 1982.
82, 83.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So and the name of the show is Physical, and she discovers aerobics, and she
Yeah.
has like this
Epiphany, yeah.
right? And she's like,
this is what I want to do. And she starts like idolizing the aerobics instructor. She becomes a groupie, right?
yeah, she does.
Yeah, I
And-
read this article
and
and I
so-
go, I've been there before.
and then she becomes this big aerobic star. But here's the thing: I've only watched one episode, because you know why? Because they only show you one episode, and then they want
then
you,
you gotta-
even though you
they
pay
hook
for
ya.
Apple TV, then they want you to pay more for the freaking show.
So does
I'm
she
like, I'm
run
all-
in? Does she run in place really fast and then spray a lot of water on her?
They
No, it's
in
actually
Flashdance.
kind of dark, isn't it? I mean, from what I've
It
read,
is.
she has an eating disorder,
She has
right?
an eating
She
disorder.
has an eating
Oh,
disorder.
so it's a
She-
serious
and
show. Then.
She's
Yeah,
a
it's
binge
got
and
a-
purge. She
All
likes
right.
to go to
Yeah.
hotels instead of.
yeah,
for
she has a
sex.
routine.
She has,
Like every day, she would drop the kid off at school. She would go and buy, I think it was 3 cheeseburgers,
$50 worth of food.
and go to the hotel,
yeah,
binge and purge.
put it
and
all out on
go-
the bed.
That was her daily routine.
Yeah, and then she would eat all the food. But it's called Physical, and if you get a chance, I mean, the first episode is amazing. I love it.
Yeah, you're gonna spend the money, aren't you? You're gonna
I-
spend the money.
I'm trying really hard not to.
You got to though.
Brian Krantz is in this show called Your Honor. It's on Apple TV too. It's the
Okay.
same thing. They reel you in to pay the
How much
monthly
does it cost to
subscription.
watch Physical, the series? I mean, if you watch the trailer or you watch the
They
first
give you the
episode.
first episode, so you're already paying $4.95 for Apple TV.
Okay.
See, right? But you only get so many things. Just Tom doesn't know. He's I don't know. But you only get so many things. Then you have to. Then they piecemeal you.
Yeah.
And basically, they make you pay $1.25 for all the the next episodes. And I'm like, "Arr!"
They got your credit card.
That's
Just ring it
crazy.
up. Ring it up.
Yeah. So,
Steve Jobs effing you from the grave.
Good point.
Kimberly's Revolution. Linda says a group of us run a house in the Finger Lakes every fall for a 4-day wine tour. That sounds amazing, Linda. How come I haven't been invited on your 4-day wine trip?
Because you drink all the wine.
I see
Kimberly.
Michael Megison is commenting. You had him as a guest on
Yes.
this show.
I did
He was
last
actually
week.
he was actually pretty good.
Megs was actually pretty
He,
good.
he was pretty. I watched that episode,
Did you?
and yeah,
Michael Megison is actually pretty smart when you can get him to settle down, and just be Michael. When you listen,
Don't pay attention to her, Mike.
what did John H. come in and say to Austin? There's no filter here.
Right.
There's no filter here
Says-
at all.
says-
it's cold in here, and he says it's warm, and he's got a few extra pounds on him. I mean,
I did not say it's warm. I'd say it gets warm after
Oh,
5 people get in
okay.
here and start talking for an hour. That's what I was saying.
That's where most of my arguments start. I only half listen to what you say,
Exactly.
and then I'm ready to return fire. So
I know.
apologies.
All right, so
all good, man.
I don't know where. Poor Austin. I'm like, oh my God, you just not tell him he was, you know.
Well,
a
everyone
few
gained
pounds
weight over the COVID, right? I mean,
Yes.
can we
Unless
just
you
make
had
that
COVID.
assumption?
Yes.
Right.
I mean, my foot was in a boot for about a month. And now I've got like severe tendonitis in my right. It kills me
Yeah.
to walk or
atrophy.
run. It's awful. It's swollen. I've got like an insert for my shoe, but I've never gone back to get it. But anyway, yeah.
You just got to muscle
So-
through. You just got to gut it out.
Yeah. So
Get back on the horse.
anyway, would you, okay. He's got to stop with the radio comments or he's going to, yeah, thank you. All right. So I don't know where to start. If we should start in the
Block user.
Listen,
Is this how it goes here?
I'm
Right.
Is
telling
this
you.
how it works here?
Just
Could
and
be.
I told him this when he could come on the show. We don't talk smack about any radio personalities. Radio is radio. It is what it is. I don't talk about them. It's another life for me.
Right.
And I don't have anything bad to say about anyone on the radio, but the fact of the matter is you can't make comments or you're going to get on my bad side. So there you go, Michael Megason. I like you. I enjoy, the things you have to say, but so
There's
There's a line. There's a line. Don't cross it, Mike.
Yeah, Michael can't help himself. John knows better. There's a difference.
I heard you guys just turn off my mics and camera anyway. If you don't,
That's
don't like what I say.
So we'll just do that.
I just.
So are you running for office? What are you doing?
Oh, that's an interesting story. Yes, kind of.
I know.
What,
Is that like being
dog
kind
catcher?
of pregnant? What do you mean? You either
Well,
are running
politics
for
is an
office
interesting
or you're,
thing.
or you're not running for office.
Well, this
What are you
is
doing?
where Chad and I have discussion
Okay.
because
Is it a short discussion? It's never a short discussion with Chad.
Chad is long-winded, for sure. The long and short of it is I've arrived at a place where I've decided to unaffiliate from any political party.
Okay.
He's perfect.
So I'm unaffiliated. That is how you register to vote if you don't
Okay.
want to be. So I'm trying to get Chad to unaffiliate.
Can you just tell me what you're running for? For
I
God's
already told
sakes.
you, parroted dog catcher.
No, I live in Webster Town Board.
Webster
Wow.
Town Board.
Webster Town Board,
All right,
yeah.
See, it was that easy. You just tell me what you're running for.
I'm a little rusty. I haven't been on the radio or podcast with you in a while.
Yeah.
I just got to get, my radio legs underneath
You-
me.
you need
But yes,
that-
Webster Town Board.
You need to have a show called 5-Step Fitness.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, podcast.
Yeah. 1,
Yeah.
2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah.
It's
All right.
easy. It's the highest he can count, so it works out.
You know who gave me the idea for the name of that place is Joy.
Oh, did she?
Yeah.
I love Joy.
Kamensky now.
Joe
I
is-
always know her as Scheibel, but
Yeah, Joy is my girl.
Yeah.
She's a
she's
good
the
girl.
resident Britney expert. Free Britney.
She sure is.
She
Yeah.
could be the breakdown on
She
that.
had Kevin Federline at one of her big parties.
She did. She did.
hired Britney Spears' ex-husband
To
come
DJ her
to-
pool party.
To DJ her pool party 3 years ago, maybe?
Yeah, it wasn't that long
Were
ago.
you there?
I did not go to that.
I had my picture taken with Kevin Federline.
She paid for expenses and everything.
She paid, I think he was only $3,000 to bring in.
Well, her husband's brother is a DJ out in Vegas, so they knew each other from the circuit. So she had a connection.
She had a connection. I don't know if she got a deal, but I think it cost $3,000. And not only did she have to pay to bring Kevin Federline in for the party, but she had to put him up. His wife came along.
Right.
I think they had to feed them.
Yeah.
I mean, it wasn't a
They have
cheap-
all these riders. When I used to be involved in the East End Festival, we had to do all
Yeah,
those
all this
riders with these
stuff, right?
bands.
So it's crazy. I don't know whether to start, if we go to Walmart on Hudson Avenue.
I was there Saturday.
or if
I
we-
shopped there Saturday.
Oh, I thought you were there.
I was not there last
1
night
o'clock in
when
the
all the
morning?
shooting started, but yeah, they're
So
wilding over there.
or I don't know whether to start with the 3 overdoses and a house full of kids.
That's tragic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Rachel Barnhart, who is, what is she?
I saw
mean,
that. She is a county legislator.
County legislator.
Mhm.
I think she finally hit a low point, even for Rachel Barnhart. I think that, what she said. So where should we start? Let's start with Rachel first. Let's start with, and it's not even about Rachel. This is what pisses me off is she has to interject her opinion. I mean, that's what she does. She's a former journalist. She is now a county legislator. She's a Twitter whore. And I say that because, there are a lot of people that are Twitter whores. I'm not saying it to as a negative. I mean, it is what it is. She tweets more than she does anything else. She probably tweets more than she goes to the bathroom or eats on a regular basis.
It feels that way, yes.
So there was an overdose situation that happened, I do believe, Saturday. And were the bodies found Saturday? I think the bodies were found.
Yeah, I think they found them Saturday morning.
Yeah. And it was a house
on Grand Avenue.
You know this.
I'm
on it.
Up to date on everything.
So police were called to Grand Avenue at 9 a.m. because the 911 call said, I think mommy's sick, right? Someone called and said, I think my mommy's sick. So police get there and 3 people are dead, a 40-year-old woman, a 24-year-old woman, and a guy in his 20s, right? 6 kids inside this house on Grand Avenue. So apparently there was a bad batch of heroin or whatever.
Sure.
And they all, shot up with the same batch of drugs that they bought from someone on the street.
Right.
Maybe Lovely Warren's husband. I don't know if he's still able to.
I think he's cracking cocaine.
Oh, is he cracking cocaine?
Yeah, he's cracking cocaine.
Well, there's so many different drugs.
It's hard to
out
keep
there
him
on that.
straight.
It is hard to keep. There he is with a towel over his head.
There's Mr. Lovely Warren.
Doesn't want to be recognized, but there he is. And we're having Randy Semino, who is president of Gates to Recovery, on tomorrow, but he's all amped up about this.
Yeah.
But here's what I will tell you. So one of the cops that responded, and I can't even imagine being a police officer that has to walk in to this situation with 6 babies inside of a house and 3 dead adults, one of them being mommy. Right.
And apparently the kids were like up in the attic. They were hiding in the attic.
Because they were afraid of what was going on downstairs. Right. Because mommy and her friends weren't moving. And
the thing I found, as a non-heroin user, interesting is the mistake that these 3 people made is usually when you shoot up heroin, you go one at a time in case you do have
a problem.
It's laced with fentanyl.
I didn't know the protocol.
Yeah, so
I didn't know there was heroin
they can bring you back.
John H.
Yeah, there's a protocol. I have Narcan in my car. I got the training, so you can just hit people with Narcan. It brings them back.
Yeah, and I hear that's awful for them too.
Is that something you have to say when you start? Is that you're a non-heroin user, or do people just assume you're a non-heroin user?
I don't know. I think it's good to identify one way or the other.
Okay.
Right.
Or neutral, whatever. You need to identify.
Kimberly, I am a non-heroin user. Just letting you know.
If the heroin's not organic, it's not going in that box.
Are you a non-heroin user?
I'm a non-heroin user.
Okay.
They're starting to use heroin for ADD and ADHD treatments.
Then I better start taking some.
Yeah, heroin is in it's versatile.
Yeah.
Anyway.
My allergies are killing me, by the way, today. So I keep rubbing my nose. I'm about ready to sneeze. And I don't want you guys to think I have the Rona.
We don't have a sneeze button in this joint?
No sneeze button. But anyway, so, and people saying anybody who votes for Rachel for anything needs to have their head examined, which absolutely true. She was called a badge bunny. She was. So this officer who responded posted on Twitter something, and it said, and here's what it said. And it was a woman, police officer for the RPD. Today I went to work and I forgot to be the monster so many are convinced we are. Today I went to work and found 3 dead bodies on a porch. Noticing their house looks so much like mine with kids' toys everywhere, I searched the rest of the house praying to find it empty. Today I went to work and found 6 terrified children, 5 of which were hiding in the attic crying, "Is my mommy okay?" Well, the hardest question I've ever had to answer is that for the rest of my life, I will never forget telling that beautiful 10-year-old girl that her mom wouldn't be okay. And then we cried together. Today, I went to work and spent 4 hours crying off and on with an attic full of children, some of which lost both parents and some which only lost one, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that is what she posted on Twitter, the officer. Rachel Barnhart, heartless county legislator, retweets that post and says, and I quote, "This post is really outrageous. The officers are centering on themselves and want credit for being decent and compassionate human beings. And somehow, in a family's massive tragedy, take a shot to those who want to end police brutality." No, Rachel, that wasn't what that was about at all. Police officers have feelings. That
Right.
police officer walked into a room full of 3 dead bodies and did what any human would do. She picked up one of the babies and she started feeding the baby with a bottle she found in the refrigerator. I think we have a picture of that, Austin. There she is. There is the RPD police officer who basically Rachel Barnhart is calling outrageous and self-centered. There it is. There's the picture. Probably a mom herself. I don't know the police officer. But basically, Rachel jumps on that
Right.
and tries to make it about Rachel.
Well,
This is not about Rachel.
It's political theater is what it is.
Exactly.
And she's
You know what it is? It's
she is
disgusting.
trying to appeal to
Who?
an electorate that is
Satan?
all about defunding the police
Exactly. John.
and Black Lives Matters. And Rachel has a constituency that has put her in office. You know, my criticism, I campaigned with Rachel and knocked doors with her. And, you know, by and large, I think Rachel's an all right person. But I do
she's an
have-
all right person, but
I do have
think
an
she's-
issue with the way she conducts herself since she's been elected. She's not a journalist anymore. She's a politician
Mhm.
and she's elected to represent all the people, not just a select few that are going to vote for her and she can count on for votes to keep her in office. So she needs to remember that
Right.
and maybe refrain from making that post. You know?
I think I honestly, and I think someone said it best, I think sometimes her brain is not functioning or she's being driven by Satan.
maybe
I
she
don't-
was drunk tweeting.
I don't know
Nah,
how you could.
she's high. She's a real high intelligence
Um,
person. I mean, she's a high IQ person. She just doesn't
The RPD,
use discretion in
the
putting it out there sometimes.
The RPD officer is a mom, according to Beth, who is one of our longtime patriots here at the We the People podcast network. Janet says, "Oh my God, my heart breaks for those children and what they're going through. I can't even imagine."
Yeah.
First off, they've probably been neglected for a number of years because mom and other, another mom and maybe dad and whoever are all in the throes of addiction. And there's nothing that comes between a person and their addiction. Their addiction comes first beyond anything
Right.
else. I mean, we can't comprehend because we're not addicts. I don't get it. We all have a choice. You don't have to pick up, a drug, and you don't have to do a drug, and you don't have to shoot up a drug, and you don't have to drink yourself to death. And we all have, choices in life. And it's your fault if you're an addict. But you know what? I mean, this police officer walks in and sees 6 crying babies, and Rachel Barnhart calls the officer outrageous. Who's outrageous here? Who needs to dial it back a second? I mean,
It's a political response. There's no question about it.
Yeah,
that's the
she-
dumbest political response that I've ever heard.
I mean, if Trump says something, it's bad. If Biden says the exact same thing Trump said, then it's good. So it doesn't matter what's being said. They just have to take the opposite point.
Here's what I would like to happen. I would like for the RPD to call Rachel or those of her ilk, maybe a Mary Lupian, Loopy Lupian, one of those ladies, and say, hey, we've got a couple of dead adults from a heroin overdose over here on Grand Avenue, and there's 6 babies and they're all crying. I want you to come over and help them out. Do you think Rachel would know the first thing to do to try to console 6 crying babies who just lost their mamas? No.
Should
No.
call the social workers.
Because she is a dumb biatch who
Yeah.
absolutely doesn't think about what she says sometimes.
It'll be interesting to see what Jose says on this topic.
I mean,
later.
I can't even. I mean, listen, whether you like the police or don't like the police, how can you look at that behavior right there in that picture and call it outrageous?
no,
Right.
You cannot.
Well, I think
That
what-
is one human being.
that's a war zone.
Consoling a little bitty baby who will never know her parents.
Right.
But Rachel calls that behavior outrageous and trying to make it about RPD, which it clearly is not.
I think I'm sorry, Tom, go ahead.
Should the police officers really be tweeting these kind of things? I mean, it's something.
I
that,
think.
well, that's what I was.
Yeah.
I wanted to chime in
Yeah.
with is we call it at 5-Step Fitness the duality of John H.
Okay.
But it's also the duality of social media.
Right.
I mean, this woman is a human being, this police officer.
Of course. And a mom.
She was moved emotionally
Right.
Mhm.
to post her thoughts. She used her social media platform, which she has the right to do
She
as
does.
a private citizen.
She does. And God
she
bless
she
her
kind of
for it.
juxtaposed it with her duties as a police officer, but that's what she does. I mean, you can't, that's her experience. So why does she not have the right to, put those feelings out there?
She does.
And then when she's attacked for it, it's just, it kind of defies common sense sometimes because, yeah, you know what? Maybe she is a police officer who says, F these people, they're persecuting me for being a police officer.
Right.
And she's got those feelings too. But in this moment, I mean, this is a tragic situation.
It is.
And, those feelings are authentic, right? I mean, that's what she felt in the moment. I don't know when she went to and had this clarity of mind and the time to type this stuff out, but it's heartfelt.
Probably at night
Yeah.
when she got
When
back
she
home from
reflects
her
on it.
Saturday, because I'm figuring she probably works the morning, early afternoon. She probably gets off at 2. If she was there on Saturday at 9, she probably starts at 5. I don't know if they're like, my daughter is a Greece police officer. My daughter works the 2 to 10 shift.
Mhm.
She used to work the 5 to 2 shift. So maybe that's what this one, and you get home and you're with your own kids and it probably just, overwhelms you. The thing is, none of us know what these police officers go through on a day-to-day basis, and we'll never know the kind of things that they see.
Yeah, I mean, there's got to be some sort of PTSD there from her. She's got to get, she just can't get it out of her head at that point.
Right.
Because you've walked into something that's absolutely horrific.
Right.
And your brain just nonstop, just can't stop thinking about it. You can't sleep. You can't do anything.
I, for one, am glad that she was there that day.
Well,
I, for one, am glad that police officer exists.
yeah, absolutely.
That is what 99.9% of all police officers are. They're out just to help make lives better and to console those who are going through some form of whatever,
Mm-hmm.
They're not monsters and they're not bad people. And the police have gotten a bad rap. I mean, I think.
Well, the good police have gotten a bad rap.
The good police have gotten them. I mean, there's bad people everywhere.
True statement.
There are bad fitness people, right?
Sure. There might be one in this room.
They make you do too many burpees. They say 10 burpees.
Yeah.
Damn. And I'm like, I don't do burpees.
Yeah.
I can't.
One of my fellow fitness professionals posted recently, burpees are just lack of imagination exhibited by your trainer. They've just plumb run out of ideas, or they don't give a shit and they didn't think up anything for the workout today. Do burpees.
Right. Exactly that.
It's like,
so
no, come on,
that's just, my thoughts on the whole situation. I don't know who that officer is. I don't know her name.
Well, your commenters seem to agree with you.
Yeah, definitely.
Michael.
Definitely.
Rachel Barnhart is a POS.
Yeah. Someone's saying,
Rachel means well. I think
no, she doesn't.
You don't think she means well?
I don't think she knows what the hell she's thinking half the time.
I think she lacks perspective and self-awareness. I on a personal level, I think she means well. She lacks perspective.
Yeah.
She doesn't have kids. She's not married. I mean, not that that's a strike against you. You can still be an effective politician
and a human being.
Yeah. You can be all of those things.
And another thing that just irks the shit out of me is that she downplays another woman in a profession, that's really mostly made up of men, right?
Mhm.
I've
Did you
always
see? Not to take you off that thing.
she is a non-supporter of women, which really pisses me off.
Yeah, I wonder what her thought is on the female RPD officer who showed up at the bar on Monroe. Is it the Brookwood?
The
Did you hear
Brickwood?
the brick? Yeah, the Brickwood.
The Brickwood.
The Brickwood. Thank you.
Yes.
I drive by it almost every day.
I've never been in the
Is that
Brickwood.
the old Woodies?
No, that's
right
down
there.
farther.
Yeah, it's
That's-
Lower
Oh,
Monroe.
It's-
all right.
It's down near
Wait, is it
the
the old
Strong.
Woody? I don't think so. I don't know.
Close. It's close down to Chestnut, but I mean, there was a call at closing time. There was a guy in there harassing the customers.
Shocking.
So
Right.
the 2 a.m. female RPD officer shows up. The guy punches her right in the face and breaks her nose.
You got to be kidding me.
Yeah, and then there's a struggle ensues. They have to take him down, but I mean, she just shows up to say, "Hey, what the hell's going on?" Boom, And I imagine there's some situations that big beefy male police can't get people to respect them these days. How do
Right.
these criminals treat women?
Punches
And,
are
you
in
know,
the, well, he's clearly
punched
punched,
her.
women before.
Well,
You're right.
that's probably the next
He's-
topic with
Right.
Captain Umbrino.
He's in jail now, so yeah.
The Walmart thing we're probably going to get to with Captain Umbrino saying about parents and your kids and respect. And
Oh yeah, absolutely. I
Yeah.
mean, that guy who punched that woman.
yeah, there's no respect there.
That's not the first time he's punched a woman, and it
Well, I
probably
think he
won't
was
be
punching women when the police were called. I think.
Really?
Yeah.
What was he punching a woman or was he punching a police officer that happened to be a woman?
That's a good question. That's a riddle.
I can't get into the guy's head.
Yeah.
I'd like to pull his brain out and just stomp all over it.
My guess it's the latter.
How do you punch people? I mean, I'm a lover. I'm not a fighter, right?
Right.
You know, I did a charity boxing match, and there's two things you have to do to be a boxer. You got to take a punch,
Yeah.
which surprisingly didn't bother me that much.
Yeah.
I got hit in the face so hard.
By
I felt
people that wanted to hit you
I
for
felt my
years?
brain hit the inside of my skull, and I said, "That ain't so bad." But you gotta like to hit people, you know. And I just I've hit people.
I know John H. You have gotten into some melees before.
I've hit people, but you know,
you have.
to stand there across from somebody and just, I mean, that's why I don't understand cage fighting. Those people got to screw loose.
Oh,
Just
there's a lot-
allowing people's head into mush.
Right? Exactly.
How do you do that to another person?
There's a lot of young hockey players that have problems with that too.
Well, let me show
when they
you.
get to the checking stages.
By the way, what was going? I mean, I don't know. I lost count of the shootings. There was a double shooting on
it was
East
crazy
Avenue.
this weekend.
There was a double shooting on East Avenue at
My
1:38
daughter was down there.
a.m. She was?
Yeah.
Where? What bars? Where did this take place?
She was at Filger's.
Okay.
The shooting, it's not really clear where the shooting occurred. There was a bunch of people in the street.
Fighting.
One of the victims was discovered or found at South Union, which is down a little bit toward the true East End.
Because that's what I do. When I've been shot and bleeding, I run.
It's like the kid who was stabbed on
You figure-
Park Avenue.
You figure you only got
He
15
ran to
minutes
the
left
hospital
to
and he
live.
died.
You want to get into shape.
Yeah,
Kimberly.
right. So I run. I
So
start
you
running
run.
because the faster you run, the more blood yours pumping.
Well, these guys,
You
who
bleed out.
knows how many shots of alcohol they have in them,
Yeah, that's true.
clouding their decision-making process. But the other one was found right there on Lawrence Street, which is where the old, it's Anthology now, that little
Right.
side
Oh,
street.
yeah.
So,
Okay.
it was just it was a chaos down there.
Women, 24 and 26 years old,
Yep.
females shot. Double shooting on East Avenue, early Sunday morning, 1:38. Man shot on Genesee Street last
Yeah.
night.
Let me go back to East Avenue real quick. You
7
know what?
o'clock,
You
yeah.
know what's going to happen eventually?
Mm.
People will stop going downtown.
Oh, yeah.
People are going to
They've been
stop,
saying that for years.
but people.
It's like New York and Times Square.
When-
The Marine that was shot yesterday in the middle of
I
broad
see your
daylight
comment,
because
Tori.
two groups, according to Comrade de Blasio, were duking it out in the middle of freaking Times Square. I wonder why. Because generally now, I think that New York City only has half of their police squad. Yeah, defund the police and see how many people come to Times
Right.
Square. Nobody wants to get shot by a random bullet that groups. Sorry. So de Blasio has, taken that whole term from, I think Rochester
Yeah.
had used it at one time, the groups. And I think now they're calling them gangs.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's mostly random. It's targeted. It's, people just driving by.
Right.
And if you're standing outside of Murphy's or whatever,
For collateral damage.
yeah, who knows what's going to happen?
So the guy was shot on Genesee Street. Go ahead. You were saying on East Avenue. You wanted to go back to that?
Well, no, it's just the whole point of people are going to be like, look, we can go to a bar in Gates or we can go to a bar in Greece. We don't have to go downtown anymore.
Right.
We don't have to pay $20 for an Uber ride or drive drunk.
Right.
We can be local.
My kid calls us at 3 a.m. to come get her.
Are you the
Yeah.
Uber?
I have delegated my 18-year-old son to be that because
Yeah,
he's
that
up at
was
3
my
a.m.
job.
anyway.
I was the taxi driver.
Come get us and then take us to Taco Bell
Right.
is the instructions usually.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you were enabling your children. Is that what you're saying?
You
Sure.
Or just protecting?
Can you
Is it
control? You
enabling
have
or
one
protecting?
child, so maybe this isn't a fair question. I have 5. Can you control your child?
I had 2.
Once they become adults, they do what they want to do.
My
Mhm.
kid was, I hate to say this, but
Boring?
she was a good kid. And she's not a partier. She was never a big drinker. I don't know what happened.
Maybe she saw the example and decided
Yeah.
not to.
If
I
you
don't
have
know.
if you have multiples, it steps down. Like
Oh,
our first kids are great.
Yeah.
Like they don't swear. I swear all the time.
John
they didn't
H., are you
swear.
Catholic? How many kids? You have 5?
I've had Catholicism in my
He beat Chad by 1.
past.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, it was like, population control with you guys. You know how to wrap that thing up?
I had
I'm just asking the question.
I took care of it. I saw Dr. Stop, the guy. He's dead now, but he did
it.
like 40,000 vasectomies.
Is that true that Dr. Stop is a vasectomy guy?
He really was.
Oh my
And
gosh.
I will tell you the other
Dr.
thing that's
Stop.
really fun about this guy. He walked with a stoop. He was bent over. He had like scoliosis of the spine.
Oh, wow.
And it was just from looking at balls all day and cutting your little vas deferens off there,
yeah.
which is an odd feeling.
I'd be hunched over too.
Yeah. I remember the day I went in, he had an old wood paneled office over here on Portland Avenue, and he was watching The Price is Right.
Avenue to have some guy,
Yeah.
dissect your
over by the
balls.
hospital there,
Yep.
across the street.
Oh,
Right
okay.
down there. And
Yeah.
he had The Price is Right. He was sitting there watching The Price is Right as the nurse took me to my room. And he must have had to, watch the Showcase Showdown before he came in. And yeah, that bitch turned up to 10, the volume. He couldn't hear, couldn't see, but he knew where the right snips were to
Oh
make.
God,
That's
that
all.
would worry me.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you have these. So double shooting on East Avenue. Guy shot on Genesee Street last night at 7:00. Then you have a man that shot at Joseph and Berlin at 1:30 in the morning this morning.
Yep.
Mhm.
So okay, all those shootings. I mean, fails to compare to what happened at the Walmart. This, they call it a mass shooting. I don't. Does this qualify as a mass shooting? I don't
I think
know.
more than 4 people getting shot or something like that.
So
4
four
or more.
people. So 4 people were shot.
Well, a mass shooting is generally pre-planned. You stock up your ammo,
Right.
however you're procuring it, legally or otherwise.
You have ammo. You have guns. Are you a gun guy?
I don't have a gun.
You don't have a gun
Nope.
besides the ones on
I've
your.
never owned a
Got the
gun.
guns.
I think I have a better than 50% chance of disarming an armed intruder and using his gun against him.
Is that what you think?
Yeah,
It's
I
faster
do.
than a speeding bullet.
I do. I know the lay of the
My
land.
kids.
I know the territory better
Bullets
than them,
fast.
and I have the element of surprise. So anyway,
Okay, we'll go with that.
anyway, I don't think it's a mass shooting, I guess is what I'm saying
Yeah.
here at Walmart. It was a fight. A fight broke out, right?
Well,
Amongst
there were women. Do we have the? I
There
don't
were
know which
women
video.
fighting.
Which video did you get? Because there was a short one I sent you because
Yes.
I like you,
There were
and then there was the longer one, which I think was 2 minutes, right?
that one was like 5 minutes.
It was 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Did you find these or did
Oh.
people send these to you?
So these were sent to me this morning.
See, that's the best thing about you, Kimberly, is
Yeah, these were
that
sent to me.
followed you from the radio
Yeah,
days. Is
people have followed
you
me.
have inside information that
Yes.
no one else has.
Yes.
I
exactly.
mean, if anyone wants to know what's going on in this town, they should listen to this podcast right here.
Exactly.
You know things that people don't know.
Thank you.
You're in the business of knowing things.
We got to take that clip, make it a little promo from John H.
Yeah.
yeah.
You're inside. Like you have police that inform you, right?
Yes.
EMTs.
Yes.
I mean, you know, you got the scoop.
Firefighters.
That I don't need. My wife actually cut our cable package. I don't have CNN. I don't have Fox. I don't have anything.
You're not missing anything.
I'm not
You're
because
really-
I watch your podcast.
Kimberly's Revolution.
I
That's
know
why I
what's
love
going on.
John H. So someone sent me this video. Which one are we going to play first? I think it's what I meant 250. So the shooting starts at 2:54 of this video that we're going to watch. Which one do you want to play first?
we got the shorter one because it was the same video. The shorter one was just the clip of the fight, and then the
so
shooting.
do we have both, or we just have one?
I can pull up the longer one if you want.
No.
but-
Let's play this.
Is this the guy with his girlfriend in the motorcycle one?
What? No.
No. Okay. never
No,
mind.
this is the fight last night on Hudson.
No,
that
I
broke-
know,
yeah,
but
okay.
they take off on his motorcycle.
Oh, I didn't see that.
Yeah,
I
that
didn't
was
watch
kinda
the whole
cool.
thing. Go
You guys
ahead.
are teasing this. Come on, let's have it. Oh wow,
Beating the hell out of her.
somebody's taking a beat down. These are the shots that
See, get
Oh,
on,
yeah,
get on the
yeah.
effing bike.
wow.
That sounds like more than 20 shots.
The
to me.
other one might be better because that's the one where they show the posturing between the females, and it's almost like the version of West Side Story. It's fantastic.
It kind of is.
The Sharks and the
they're-
Jets.
Yeah, they're like
Let's go.
They're like dancing. They're like dancing back and forth. It's really, it's sad and horrific, but at the same time, it's like NASCAR.
But that's
Just
so
can't turn away.
so
Well,
you're
you wonder. I mean, people at home that hear this, just reading the stats, you wonder how it happens. And these videos, I mean, it's a great insight.
1:30, and by the way, the Hudson Avenue Walmart is no longer open 24 hours.
Right.
Right.
I don't even know what time it closes. You said
Midnight.
it closes at midnight.
Yeah, I think
This
so.
is at 1:30 in the morning. They still have overnight stalkers, but there were 250 to 300 kids and adults, I guess, because a 43-year-old man is probably not going to make it. He was shot. There was an 18-year-old shot and killed.
Right.
There was a 15-year-old that was shot. There was a 23-year-old that was shot. So 4 shot, 1 dead, 1 probably going to be dead.
Right.
They don't think he's going to make it.
Yeah.
And they
older
say
guy.
that there were over 20 gunshots. That sounds way over 20 gunshots to me
There was a lot.
from multiple weapons.
You know what's
right?
going to be the end result to this? Walmart is going to close. They're going to vacate that building. They're
Why,
going to
why
move,
wouldn't they?
Right.
Right,
And
why?
and who gets punished for all this? The people that live in the community that no longer have a
Right.
Walmart to shop at,
But here's my question.
because they can't get the people out of the parking lot. Now, what would have happened if the police had shown up there? There's obviously a lot of young people there that have guns
Right.
on them.
Right.
What do you think would have been the scene if RPD showed up there? Can we just imagine what would have happened?
It would have been a shootout with police.
Right.
Yeah. It's hard to
That would have been a shootout with police. Undoubtedly.
what would happen.
But,
But
so the Walmart will be closed in the next 6 months, and no more Walmart.
And people
good
in
luck
that
with that.
community won't have anywhere to go
Correct.
and
I think
fill their
Walmart's going to stick
service.
around.
Well, the best part is
But-
when these people sue Walmart for not policing their own parking lot after they're there,
Okay, so that was my question.
when they're not, the store's not open.
There are workers there that are stocking overnight.
Yeah.
You can't tell me that the workers at Walmart didn't know that a massive chaotic scene was going
Yeah,
on.
Walmart's going to get sued because
And-
these people
Well,
got
how
shot.
often does it happen? Is this the first time people
Oh,
have
no.
ever gathered in Walmart's parking lot? You know,
I don't know.
I'm
They
thinking,
used to gather at Bathtub Billy's, but Bathtub Billy's is no longer there on West Ridge Road anymore.
right?
They moved, and I think the first week they were open, some guy got thrown through the plate glass window.
Oh, geez,
Oh yeah, it
rough
happened.
crowd.
But they're at Grease Ridge Mall now. But they used to gather right there where Century Liquors. I don't know if it's called Century Liquor anymore, but where the Bathtub Billy's was there.
Mhm.
You know, that whole big
Yeah,
parking lot.
I remember seeing a video where shots were fired there.
Yeah,
Where
oh, yeah.
the person with the camera was like hiding
That-
behind cars.
You
Was that
you
your
saw
video?
that on my
There
my
you go.
show.
Look at you.
But this is
You
the
saw that on my show.
this
That's
is
the
the
only
Hudson
place I get
Avenue
any
Walmart, right?
Yeah,
news.
it's the Hudson
Yeah,
Avenue.
this is the one that they've had problems with all along.
Back in the day, I used to call this the Fallujah of Walmart.
Right.
And the general manager got so pissed at me. But
Oh, the Hudson Walmart.
the Hudson
Yeah.
Avenue,
I
I called
used
it
to
the
love to
Fallujah.
go there when I owned the downtown fitness club because all the Spanish women that worked there, they call me Poppy when I walk by. Hi, Poppy.
What does
I'm like,
that mean?
oh, I like
Poppy?
that. I think it's a positive thing.
Oh,
Yeah.
I mean, it
Sounds
made
like
me
it.
feel good about
you sure
myself.
they weren't saying, "Hey, cocky"?
Austin, do you have the
They might
longer?
have.
What does the beginning of the longer version look like?
Yeah.
Real quick.
And then I want to play the shorter version again, but if we can play that, and then I want to play Captain Frank Umbrino, who. Good afternoon.
I heard him on the radio this morning.
This isn't the longer video. Yeah, the longer video. Where'd we go? Okay, they're kind of
Yeah.
loitering. They're
Yeah,
loitering
yeah, this-
around. They're on all those
There's that guy on the
motorbikes.
motorcycle
See,
with a gun, unbeknownst to everyone right now.
This is where the girls start getting into it.
Yeah, they're squaring off. They're doing the West Side Story thing. The yelling starts.
John,
The pushing.
this one girl in a white t-shirt, she throws some haymakers.
Yeah, she's tiny too.
I've seen some girl fights on these videos, and they can throw some punches.
She
man.
knocks her out.
Is this the one right in the middle right now, the bigger girl with the dark pants on? Squaring up with the, I don't know if it's a dude or a chick in the yellow.
Yeah, no. It'll come right to you.
This
in a
is
minute.
Rochester, guys.
Yeah.
This is Rochester. This is who we are. 1:30 in the morning.
I got to tell you, it doesn't look much different than 1983 back roads of Auburn, New York, where we used to have road parties, bring a keg out. We all just milled around.
Then they start fighting. They see
We
the
didn't have any guns, though.
The guns are coming.
Actually, we did have guns.
See,
Everyone
look,
carried
she's-
shotguns in the back of their truck.
The one in the turquoise is taunting the guys. Taunting the guys.
They ain't doing nothing. They whack.
All right, here we're gonna get going here soon.
Oh, okay.
Here we go.
Okay.
This is how it all starts.
Oh, there's a little one with a white T-shirt comes up. She just lets her have it.
I just wonder if they know how they look in these outfits. That's all I'm asking.
Oh, next.
Is that the lip?
No, she's coming.
Yeah, she's coming.
Is she coming fair or is she sucker punching?
Oh no, straight up.
Is it before the gunshots?
Yeah, it's right here. This is her.
Boom.
Oh, she's throwing.
How about that?
And then all hell breaks loose.
Not long after that, then the shots are fired.
Yeah.
No, we're right here.
The
Right
girl with
here.
the long
Hold
hair's
on.
got to be about 6'5". Look at how tall she is. Oh, she's getting down on the ground. Oh,
There was a couple young men trying to break it up there, and they didn't want any part of that.
No.
They just threw them aside.
Now here's the shot. I think the shots are fired.
Yep. There you go.
Get on the bike. Get on the bike.
Get out of here.
You're right.
Yeah, there's more than 20
There's
shots
way
being
more than
fired.
20 shots.
Right.
So there it is. That is what was sent to me.
That
That
video
is
might win an Emmy.
what happened last night at 1:30. No, at 1 o'clock in the morning at the Hudson Avenue Walmart. This is
That's
indicative.
crazy.
This is indicative of the violence that's not only going on here in Rochester, but it's going on all around the country because of defund the police. That is what we're looking at. You don't want police, and this is what you have. You don't want police around in New York City, so you have random tourists that are there to visit Times Square getting shot in the middle of a Sunday afternoon, broad daylight, by two gangs duking it out in the middle of Times Square. It's the craziest nonsense that's going on. And here is the fall guy for the RPD, that every time some massive incident happens, Captain Frank Umbrino is hauled out by the chief who
Yeah,
won't do her job. You know,
I
Right.
was asking myself this morning when I heard his soundbite on the radio. I said, "Is this the guy? Is he
He's
the
not the-
spokesperson for the
Yes.
RPD now?"
I'm sure he doesn't want the gig. I'm sure he appreciates.
I mean, he's at a loss for words.
I'm-
He's like, these people were doing things that I wouldn't do on a Sunday night, or anyone I know would be doing on a Sunday night.
Of course not.
I mean, he just doesn't even know how to describe it anymore. The
Well,
guy's at a loss for words.
Right. I mean, he needs to get for every time one of these shootings occurs, and it's daily. It's daily. He needs a thesaurus because the poor guy is out of explanations for why it's happening. Defund the police, though. Get that police accountability board. Let them go down to Walmart on Hudson Avenue and figure things out. They're so smart. Except for you got one guy that hates the cops on the police accountability board. I tweeted about that last week.
Isn't there
Austin-
one guy that was in prison? on
Oh,
there?
you got that guy. Yeah.
I mean, they want all the
They're-
perspectives.
They're
I
stand-up
understand.
citizens on that police accountability
Well, they
board.
did take away their ability. The court did strike down their ability to issue punishment to the police.
They got
the
$5 million
police,
though of your tax dollars.
That's another thing. That was a lovely Warren's goodbye gift, parting gift.
Parting gift. She
Parting
took away
gift.
$4.5 million from the RPD, and she gave $5 million to the police accountability board that has no teeth and cop haters on the board. Austin, do we have Frank Umbrino?
We have to
I wondered who this
teach
guy
these
looked like.
children that this behavior is not okay, and wherever they're seeing this behavior, that's where the root cause of all the violence that we're having is. Be a parent, be a role model, set a good example.
Parent. You're making the assumption that these people have parents. And by the way, what's a 43-year-old guy doing downtown at the Hudson Avenue Walmart with all these kids? 43 years old. Is that a little weird to anyone?
Well, I
mean,
think it's the equivalent of the 50-year-old guys hanging out on East and Alexander, trying to get themselves some 20-year-olds.
Maybe he was trying.
He's a little on the.
Maybe he was trying to break it up and got in the way of a gun.
Maybe he was the Uber for his kid, and she said, "Hey,
It could
Daddy,
be,
I'm down
yeah.
at such and such."
Who knows?
Because there were 15-year-olds that were in this group. I mean, so but there,
People died.
and poor, Captain. He probably wouldn't want me to say poor, Captain Frank Umbrino, but the
Yeah, it's his
chief,
job.
the chief says, "Get out there and do what I should be doing."
Well,
Right. I don't want to speak to the so Frank, we know you're busy with all the homicide investigations and all the shootings that go on daily.
Well, they cut
multi-daily.
their investigator staff. Isn't there only like 4 investigators
Well, I think
on the
some-
RPD or 6?
Some took a hike as well.
Yeah, so they cut the staffing.
Well, they don't really want to catch any of these people, so
Well, I think they
What are they
know
gonna do
who's
with
doing it.
Right.
What are they going to do with them?
they
Bail
just-
reform.
They just let them out.
They let them. They go to court and then they're back out on the street within 24 hours.
Right.
I mean so yeah, defund the police. And why don't we keep asking then why it's happening? Isn't that the very definition of being
Well,
crazy?
Right,
again,
insanity. Doing the same
Insanity?
thing and expecting a different result.
Again,
You know what? I forgot to tell you guys
Right.
as I walked in. This might be the first step in changing the game a little bit. I came off of 104 on the Hudson Carter exit.
Or that's
Mhm.
still all blocked off or no?
Yeah, it's all blocked off.
Oh,
It's the
yeah.
state police. They are, stopping everybody and inspecting, I don't know, cars,
And-
licenses, register. They're doing something, but there is a strong police presence
Yeah.
right around the corner from that Walmart.
Well, there are cameras in the Walmart parking lot that
Yeah.
probably captured the
Sure.
whole thing better than that cell phone. Although that cell phone video was.
That was pretty
The guy's going to get
spot
an
on.
Emmy.
that was
And
good.
so how Mayor Lovely Warren wouldn't let anyone, bring in help. I mean, I think the Monroe County Sheriff has stood up and said, "Hey, we'll help." I think state police have said, "Hey, we're available." And of course, Mayor Lovely Warren is like, "Nope, nobody's helping the RPD. They don't deserve the help." But I think now that Mayor Lovely Warren has been beaten by Malik Evans, and there's a new sheriff in town, so to speak, I do believe that now she's kind of changed her tune, and they're bringing in the feds. Do we have Cynthia? What is it? Harriet Sullivan?
I'm not. I refuse to allow the violent gun violators who are terrorizing the city. I'm going to do everything within my power. That I can promise you.
That's interesting because that was not what she was saying.
Yeah,
when,
a
when
week
Mayor
ago at
Lovely
this,
Warren was
1
in
week
charge.
ago, before the
Yeah,
primary on
yes,
Tuesday,
yes.
what was the message coming out?
It wasn't that, John H.
Yeah.
It wasn't that message
Right.
from our police chief. Because you don't want to get on Lovely's bad side. And basically Lovely put her there to be, she the lackey that she is.
Right.
She's just another minion of Mayor Lovely.
When you get a new
unfortunately.
mayor, I mean, I don't know this answer, but when you get a new mayor, is it kind of like hiring a new general manager for your football team?
Yes.
Do they get to get their own chief of police?
They do.
And they-
And
they
can
generally
get their
what they
own-
do, and not all elected officials. If it's a transition of power within the party,
Mhm.
another reason I'm unaffiliated because I mean, parties
Shocker.
John H.
parties are about
Unaffiliated.
transitioning power, but typically you ask for your department head's resignation and you'll let them interview for their jobs back, and then that allows you to keep who you want and you move on from those who you don't.
So do you
Right.
think, John, she's posturing for knowing who her new boss might be as opposed to her old boss and trying to be a little tougher on the stance
I
here?
think Malik
to
Evans
save
has
her
already
job?
tipped his hand to the fact he's replacing her. So
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
it's a foregone conclusion that she won't be in that post anymore. I don't even think Lovely Warren gave her the permanent post. I think she was still
She was
interim.
the interim.
Oh, okay.
Right. She was
Yeah,
the
so she has never been, designated as the Rochester chief of police,
right.
which is another problem. I mean, there's a void in leadership that, people, who do you turn to? Who kind of drives the mission statement, if you will?
there was a really good chief who was a chief of police when Lovely Warren became mayor. And when Lovely Warren became mayor, he left.
Yeah.
Right.
He said, I'm not, he would
Was
never.
Jim Shepard the chief
Yes,
of police?
Chief Shepard. Anytime I see him, I always call him chief because he's,
Right.
besides him and Bob Duffy, I really think that, they didn't kowtow to the politicians at City Hall.
No.
Right? That he
Jim
just
Shepard
did-
was a no nonsense guy. I went in front of him. I mean, we're talking about murders, and I'm going to talk about a parking ticket. But I had parking tickets when I was at the downtown fitness club because we kept getting parking.
Oh
tickets,
my God!
right?
Because there was no place to park.
Right. So
John H.
I
There's no
went
place
through
to park
Molly
at that damn
Clifford. I
thing.
went all the way to the top. So I got a hearing with Chief Shepard. So it's like a table like this here. It's long. He's sitting at this end. I come in and sit here. He's got his assistant chief of police there. Molly Clifford's there. And then there's me. So I launch into why it was, you're destroying businesses in the downtown area. Everyone wants economic development, but you guys are harassing people.
You're harassing people.
He patiently hears me out. And
I got like 5 tickets myself.
He goes, Mr. Hutchings, I am not going to tell you it is okay to break the law. He said, we'll take care of these tickets. I don't want to see you again. And 2, you have a really bad attitude.
Did he tell you that?
Yeah, he did.
So
Is that why they had extra
Thank
security?
you.
They had extra security there for you,
Yeah,
John?
they all had weapons. I had nothing, so they didn't need that. I'm not that bad of a guy.
Chief Shep would never come out and directly say why he chose to resign after only a couple of years
Right.
as police chief of Rochester. We made fun of him, but here's the deal. He came on our show and said, yeah, writing letters to the head of the gang members. It was a shot that, probably seems funny, but we're trying anything to get the gang warfare to stop. And I think that he was, trying to get a grip on it. But when Mayor Lovely Warren was elected, he could see the writing on the wall. And Chief Shep he got out quick. Because he could see what was happening.
Well, he ran against her first real term.
He ran for
re-election.
Yeah,
but he was primarying along with Rachel Barnhart.
Yes, that's right.
The 3 of them were trying to split the votes, and I said to him, why don't you and Rachel team up and you guys can get each other's votes? No, thank you was the response.
Was the response? Yeah.
Yeah.
I like Chief Shep. I like you. I'm glad that you.
I like you too.
Yeah.
You want to hear my theory? What's going on in the city of Rochester?
Do you want me to pass a note to Kimberly for you, John?
Check yes or no.
Yeah. Yes. Theory.
Kimberly made my business work downtown. She was the first person who jumped on my celebrity boot camp weight loss challenge.
I did. Because I was a fat ass.
You got everyone else to do it. Nikki Rudd was in there.
Yeah.
We got them all. But you were an early believer. But did you see the Reuters article about the city of Rochester? It said one city in the U.S. is about to explode, and then it chronicled the death rate, and the murder rate in Rochester. It's above per capita. It's above Chicago's murder rate right now.
So right now we're at 27 weeks and we're on 35 murders.
Yeah. I think 2 things are going on. I think 2 things are going on. I posted this I save all my good posts for people's comments.
Okay.
So I want to take ownership directly.
John H does drive-bys better than anyone I know.
Oh, boom. I'm dropping into the comments.
You are the king of the drive-by.
I do like, inserting my 2 cents where it's probably not
But
wanted.
the difference is he never gives up either. 2 in the morning, you're like, John, I got to go to bed.
Right?
He's like, wait, I'm not done yet.
Here's what I think's going on.
Going to bed.
One, there's a lot of money that wasn't there before. All this stimulus money and unemployment money. There's money being flooded into these neighborhoods. There's wealth that wasn't there before.
Right.
So people have the means to buy drugs.
Right.
Or anything else that, might make them feel better. And 2, I think when the police took down Lovely Warren's husband and his associates,
mid-level drug dealers.
Yeah, but there's a hole in the distribution chain, and I think the gangs are fighting to take that opportunity.
You think
the money's there, the opportunity's there, and that's where all these shootings. I mean, that Genesee Street shooting, I drive by there twice a week. Because I go to Wilson High School for
the Genesee Street shooting last night at 7:00.
Yeah.
So you're saying, John,
that's just one on Genesee Street. I think there's one there daily.
There's been 3 consecutive days. That's gang related.
Yes, of
retaliation. They're shooting people on the streets in broad daylight.
They're surrounding them, tactically, right?
I don't know why you would walk down the street.
Because you don't know. You don't know if you're going to get shot.
I would not go outside.
They surrounded one guy and then killed his girlfriend in the car with her babies.
Right.
I mean, that's the
the Cornhill
insanity
shooting. Yeah, they
that Rochester
they
is.
shot the woman right in front of her 2 kids in the
right
car.
there at Samuel McCree Way.
Yeah. Yeah. I was there the day before that, sitting at that light, watching kids come out of that store. And I go, there's an increased activity because you never see people going in and out of that store.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of stuff.
So you're saying, John, that they're posturing for a new boss?
Someone's trying to be the new boss.
Somebody's trying to take over the turf. I mean, there's money in drugs.
Just like you, just
Shocker.
You want to take over the airwaves or the internets of Rochester, right?
Right.
That you want to be the big guy.
John just came up with a really controversial statement.
There's money in drugs.
There's money in drugs.
Well, I did tell you I learned how to watch Netflix, and I had to watch Narcos.
Oh, my husband watches that.
Narcos is. I mean, that's what's going on.
Of course.
So the 2 things about John we learned today. Number 1, he's a non-heroin user.
Yeah. Yes, it's organic.
And number 2, there's money in drugs.
2. Correct. Correct.
And he has 5-step fitness that I need to get back to. I need to get back to.
Lift weights, do some HIIT.
It has been fun having you in
Absolutely.
studio. Are you gonna have your own podcast?
We'd love to have him.
I think I talked to Chad about that.
Yeah, we'd love to have him.
All right, well, let's work out. I'll have my people call your people.
We don't have any people, John.
We don't.
You don't have any people?
We don't have any people. All right.
Here's number 3. I don't have any people either.
Well, it has been great having you on.
Oh, thanks.
We enjoy
Thanks
it.
for having me.
Just Tom. We always love Just Tom. Jose Pio's Politically Correcting with Jose Pio is up on the We the People podcast network coming up at 4:00. And then tomorrow we're back with Kimberly's Revolution, me and Just Tom. And then, of course, we're talking to Randy Samino tomorrow because this whole drug thing that we talked about beginning of the show. I wanted to get to that building collapse down in Florida,
that's
too.
Tragic.
Horrendous, isn't it?
Yeah.
There's 150 people like pancaked in this pile of concrete.
I know. They found another body, I think, just hours ago this morning.
My hypothesis will be it'll be a big sinkhole at some point.
Well,
that the inside of the building collapsed under the ground.
Well, they said the concrete was, eroding in the parking garage
was
underneath.
Defective, but even if the concrete's defective, a building of that structure is not going to collapse like that unless the ground underneath it moves.
Surfside, Florida. You ever been there?
I have not.
No.
It's up near Bal Harbor, I guess, just north of Miami.
So a woman was on the phone with her husband. She said it was like 1:00 in the morning. She'd called him.
Oh, I hadn't heard this.
He hasn't.
Don't tell me one of your spies got you the audio. Let's hear it.
Yeah.
No.
Austin, can you play that clip?
I don't have that. So the guy said his wife had felt the building shake like an earthquake. So she gets up and she calls her husband, who's on a business trip in New York City.
Oh.
And she says, I'm out on the deck and the building was just shaking. And she said, the pool just collapsed into a sinkhole. So they think that's
okay.
Yeah, you're not, I haven't heard that on the news yet.
Yeah. So that was a phone call. And of course he told, authorities and
yeah, there's sinkholes.
people.
There's sinkholes all over Florida. It's all has to do with the groundwater.
It's all on a marsh.
Yeah.
Well, they said they were building a house or a project next door really close to it, and the building was moving. And they actually had calls from tenants in that building saying, "Hey, you got to check out this building. They're doing construction, and it's making our place move."
That's crazy.
So they had all these warning signs.
And half the building, and they are. I mean, and they say they're finding pockets as they're going. They're kind of just taking things off of it, one by one, just kind of.
For the people that don't know what a condominium actually is, a condominium is a building that's owned by the group of the owners.
Right.
It's not owned by one person. It's owned by an association of which the owners of these units are members. So even if there was structural damage where they knew about it, there would have to be some sort of a vote by the owners to pay for this.
To do something about it.
And, who knows how much it would cost to repair something like that. And I just,
they do pay their HOA fees and it all goes into one big account.
This would be separate. This would be a separate assessment that they would have to pay to replace or to fix damage like this.
And this building was built in what, 80?
Yeah, it was 40
years old.
Yeah.
But the point being is, the guy who probably said, hey, this building needs work, brought it up to a vote in front of the association and got voted down, I assume, because they weren't doing any repairs.
Right.
And now that guy's probably dead because, he brought up, something to a topic.
Right.
But a condominium is not owned by one individual. They're owned by the group of owners.
So you look at that and they're just trying to, go layer by layer and take off the debris. People are upset that they're not finding more bodies faster, but can you imagine if they just started getting in there and pulling things? I mean, the whole thing would just,
but it's just got to be
get worse.
Excruciating to sit there if one of your loved ones is in there.
151 are still unaccounted for.
You're standing there and watching them just methodically take a piece.
I know, but there's a method to the madness.
Well, I mean, at least if there's some satisfaction, I mean, they died pretty much in their sleep. They probably didn't know
right. They probably didn't know.
They had to just crush them.
Yeah.
I can't even imagine.
Again, everything is horrific.
So you have California that's falling off into the ocean, and you have Florida that's sinking. It's good to be in Rochester, isn't it? Unless you're at the Hudson Avenue Walmart or Genesee Street or Joseph Avenue. Hey, keep the violence. We don't take that kindly out in Greece. Don't bring the violence out to where we live.
Right.
It's not pretty. Or Webster, where
life is worth living.
Someone got carjacked out there.
Yeah.
You need the brute force out there. You need, huh?
Some dude punched a girl in the face, and I mean, a lot of punching women in the face these days. Took her car and drove away.
Exactly. All right. It's Kimberly's Revolution. We appreciate all of our sponsors, and we hope that you frequent them because they support us, and we need them to support us as well and advertise here on Kimberly's Revolution on the We the People podcast network. So please frequent our businesses that pay money to be here. We appreciate them. And so we want you to appreciate them as well. John H., 5-Step Fitness.
Thanks, John.
Thank you.
You're great.
Thanks, guys.
I'm glad I didn't block you.
Why would you block me? I haven't attacked you over anything,
because
Tom.
just
Not
Tom
in the last
doesn't.
month.
Just
What?
Tom.
How dare you?
Doesn't like controversy.
No, I'm anti-controversy.
Just Tom likes everything cool and copacetic.
You couldn't tell it from his comments on this show.
So who does Just Tom surround himself with?
The most controversial radio podcast host in America.
Me, Chad,
Kimberly.
you.
Chad, who gets arrested at the drop of a hat everywhere he turns.
Right.
He gets letters.
I'm not
just
saying
like
I'm
you do.
smart.
Yeah, I got a cease and desist letter. Remember when
I
Carm
know.
Gamino was sending that crazy stuff out? I'm still going to show up at a board meeting.
You should. He's gone though.
I know, but the president of the board signed on to that letter too. I'm going to get her to resign.
Having a little,
I'm going to take Mike Megison with me.
co-mingling.
Michael Megison, if you're out there, come with me to Webster School
Sounds
Board.
like a
Don't-
good
don't-
podcast. You and Michael.
Don't encourage
Have
it.
you seen this Kevin dude who he's got a YouTube channel. He's like anti Black Lives Matter. He'll show up at your school board meeting.
Oh, that's good.
Do a protest.
I don't like controversy either.
Oh,
All right,
sure you
that's it
don't.
for Kimberly's Revolution. We will be back tomorrow at 4 or the 2. We're 2 tomorrow, 4 for Jose Pio today, and then Chad tomorrow is at 4.
Stay cool.
Is that all you have to say?
God bless. Be kind to others.
I'm flexing.
Rejuvenate, restore, refresh, and heal. At Fantuzo Acupuncture, we seek to help achieve effective health and wellness in an elegant spa-like atmosphere. Fantuzo Acupuncture specializes in traditional acupuncture, cosmetic anti-aging acupuncture, acupressure, cupping, CBD topical creams, and more. Approach healthcare holistically. Visit FantuzoAcupuncture.com to book online today. FantuzoAcupuncture.com.
From attic to basement, we're here for you. It's quality service in all we do. Call Taylor. 500 help.